Since the deadly 2016 West Virginia floods, volunteer organizations active in disasters are critically important in helping victims recover. Well, West Virginia VOAD is a nonprofit association of independent organizations dealing with all phases of disaster.
And in 2018, the group became the state's primary house and bridge builder for the RISE West Virginia Flood Recovery Program. However, earlier this year, WVVOAD was hit with a major financial blow, and there are now troubling questions about its leadership. Eyewitness News lead investigative reporter Kenny Bass has our story tonight.
In May, the chief financial officer for West Virginia's voluntary organizations active in disaster admitted that starting in 2020, he stole more than $870,000 from the nonprofit over a 2.5-year period. 30-year-old Benjamin Sisko had control over WVVOAD's finances, transferring money from debit cards to his personal account, buying gift cards, and obtaining improper mileage reimbursements. Sisko was scheduled to be sentenced last week. However, his case was reassigned to a different judge, and the new date is now set for November. But sources have provided Eyewitness News with documents, text messages, recordings, and receipts indicating WVVOAD's financial troubles continue. The allegations center largely on longtime executive director Jenny Ganaway. Ganaway was placed on leave by WVVOAD's board in August 2022 after allegations about possible misconduct were raised. Following an investigation, she was reinstated by the board of directors in early September 2022. But just days later, on September 19, 2022, a letter from Charleston attorney Scott Evans on behalf of the nonprofit's employee, Tyler Hager, sent to WVVOAD counsel Gabrielle Wohl with Bowles Rice, reiterated some of those accusations. In statements provided to Eyewitness News, both Ganaway and WVVOAD board chair Kim Tiemann strongly deny any wrongdoing beyond Sisko's embezzlement. The attorney's letter is framed by Hager's pending termination, which was scheduled for the end of September 2022 because the West Virginia Housing Restoration Program grant funding his position was closing. But Hager's lawyer argued that since his hiring in 2020, Hager had been elevated to a core WVVOAD employee, not subject to grant funding, and that the real reason for his layoff was that Hager had turned whistleblower and had complained to Sisko about Ganaway's personal misuse and misconduct related to WVVOAD finances. The letter alleges on March 4, 2022, Ganaway instructed Hager to take multiple items donated by Good 360 from the WVVOAD warehouse to her home in Roanoke, Virginia, and to the homes of family members in Roanoke. The directions are outlined in these alleged texts from Ganaway to Hager. Ganaway, you busy next Saturday, Friday and Saturday? Hager, not that I know of. I believe I'll be free. Ganaway, would you want to bring my fire pit and other things I need to Roanoke for me and put it together? Hager, yeah, I sure will. Ganaway, okay, let's talk on Monday. Hager, okay, that sounds good.
Good 360 works with more than 400 corporate partners and 100,000 nonprofits. This is our 40th year in existence. We act as a facilitator between donors who want to donate and nonprofits who have a need to close the need gap.
Eyewitness News talked with a Good 360 representative at the recent WVVOAD conference in South Charleston. While unaware of the allegations against Ganaway, he discussed Good 360's efforts to make sure donated items get to the people who need them.
Obviously, there's always going to be something that comes up, but we have a really stringent compliance process, from everything from putting trackers on donations to just having these types of conversations with the nonprofit partners. Again, we did over $2.5 billion worth of goods, and we work with some of the world's largest corporations, so they trust us, and we take that trust and really very seriously.
In another text message, Ganaway instructed Hager about what to put on the truck that was headed to her home in Roanoke and to the homes of family members in the area. She referenced a 7-piece outdoor patio set, which had been donated by Good 360 from Lowe's. The text said, Ganaway, put one of these on the trailer too. Hager, okay, will do. Ganaway, I need 10 flower pots and 6 ottomans. Hager, sounds good, I'll get it. Hager, you're all packed and ready to go. The items Hager was told to deliver included 10 flower pots valued at $799.80, 6 ottomans valued at $888, 3 tables valued at $1,494, 6 boxes of chairs valued at $2,388, and 3 fire pits valued at $2,094.
Trust is really the epitome of all that not only we as Good 360 do, but we as a nonprofit sector as a whole do. It's what keeps us healthy, what keeps us sustainable. After a disaster, whether in West Virginia, California, Turkey, you've lost everything after disaster. It's when humanity is at its most vulnerable. And knowing and trusting that the nonprofit partners that are going to be there for you have your best interests at heart and in mind is really what matters the most. And we take that very seriously at Good 360.
Hager's statement in the letter also contains claims Hager used a WV VOED-owned truck, trailer, and fuel card to deliver the items, as instructed by Ganaway. On April 27, 2022, the letter claims Ganaway instructed Hager to purchase a new toilet from Lowe's in South Charleston for Ganaway's daughter, using WV VOED's account. After buying the toilet, the letter says Hager loaded it into Ganaway's vehicle. Ganaway, get this one. Hager, will do. Ganaway, thank you. Hager, no problem. On May 21, 2022, the letter says Ganaway asked Hager for a picture of a new LG Smart Wi-Fi refrigerator housed in the WV VOED warehouse, valued at $4,099. In a statement, Hager said he worked from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. to take the refrigerator from the WV VOED warehouse to Ganaway's Roanoke home. He said he installed the refrigerator and moved the old one to the basement. Hager says the errand was on WV VOED time and he used the company truck and fuel card. On May 25, Ganaway texted, Ganaway, hey, can you send me the picture of that refrigerator? After receiving the picture, Ganaway texted if Hager turned the water on for the new fridge. Hager's statement continues that in August, he packed items at Ganaway's Matewan home to take to Roanoke, once again using a WV VOED truck and fuel card and being paid on company time. Hager said Ganaway's brother, Joey Crum, was assisting and was also on company time. Hager made a note that Ganaway mentioned to him on the phone call that she didn't want anyone to know what the men were doing on company time. Hager's attorney asked WV VOED for $230,000 as a settlement agreement. Hager was terminated from the company on September 30, 2022, without receiving a settlement. To date, a lawsuit has not been filed against WV VOED. Just 2 days after the letter was sent electronically, on September 19, 2022, Ganaway filled out an excess policy application asking for employment practices liability insurance. A question on that application to Travelers Casualty and Surety Company of America asks if anyone connected to the request has any knowledge or information of any fact, circumstance, or situation which could reasonably give rise to a claim that would fall within the scope of the proposed insurance. Ganaway checked the no box, signing and dating the document September 21, 2022. Eyewitness News was told by both Ganaway and WV VOED Board Chair Kim Tiemann that they would sit down and answer our questions on camera. However, they did not follow through with an interview. Instead, Tiemann requested that our questions be submitted in writing. We emailed both WV VOED Executive Director Jenny Ganaway and WV VOED Board Chair Kim Tiemann 30 questions. Here are their responses. Ganaway wrote back in an email, Kenny, I am aware of the questions you sent to our board chair and the statements sent back to you from our board of directors. Please know the information you have been given is false and inaccurate. The statement sent to you from the board of directors is my statement also. Thanks, Jenny Ganaway. Tiemann sent us this email. Mr. Bass, the board of directors of the West Virginia Voluntary Organizations Active in Disaster has met and vehemently disputes the facts, implications, and conclusions in your questions. Your sources are promoting false and misleading narratives and, in discussing individual case management files, are violating confidentiality restrictions imposed by law. Your questions touch on several issues that the board referred to the FBI for investigation. That investigation resulted in the felony prosecution of WV VOED's former chief financial officer. That individual pleaded guilty to embezzling more than $871,288.34 from our organization and will be sentenced on October 18th. To the extent you believe it is in the public interest to shine a light on wrongdoing at WV Voad, we suggest that you focus on his admitted fraud scheme instead of promoting false narratives. Sincerely, Kim Tiemann, WV Voad Board Chair. Over the past few years, WV Voad has received millions in public funds. In 2019, the organization was paid $1 million from Governor Jim Justice's office. It's also received more than $1.6 million from the West Virginia legislature through the State Division of Emergency Management, more than $18.7 million in federal dollars through the West Virginia Department of Economic Development, and $50,000 from the Kanawha County Commission. On June 22nd of this year, the West Virginia Board of Risk and Insurance Management awarded the organization $874,000 for a claim tied to the money Cisco stole. Since the governor's office sent WV Voad $1 million 4 years ago, the administration has not budgeted any additional funds. Governor Justice's chief of staff addressed that issue.
About that time, when it was ready to do budget, we were approached by the law firm representing Voad, and they indicated to us they were conducting audits, and it appeared that some money had gone missing. And as an abundance of caution, we decided not to invest more until we got a clear picture of what had transpired. Certainly, if they'd come to us in an emergency situation, the governor's contingency fund can be used for those kind of things. But rather than just send budgeted money, we decided to play it safe and wait.
Abraham says any damage to WV Voad would be a devastating blow to many people who count on the nonprofit agency in their darkest hours.
They've been there when people in the state need them. They've been a real gem and asset to the state. It's sad to see, things that go on in organizations where people do things they're not supposed to do. I wouldn't say that corrupts the organization as an entity, because each person's responsible for their own actions. But clearly they're a great organization, and we hope that they can get through this and the wrongdoers are punished, and those that haven't are still an effective partner for us.
Both the U.S. Attorney's Office and the FBI declined to comment if there's an active investigation into WV Voad's finances. The nonprofit's former chief financial officer, Benjamin Sisko's new sentencing date is now set for November 15th at 10 a.m. at the Byrd Federal Courthouse in Charleston. He faces a maximum penalty of 40 years in prison, 3 years of supervised release, and a $500,000 fine. Sisko also has to pay $871,000 in restitution. Eyewitness News will continue looking into this situation and will produce more stories as they are warranted. For now, reporting in the studio with this Eyewitness News investigation, I'm Kenny Bass.
Thanks so much for watching. Here's another video from Eyewitness News. Just click right here to subscribe to our channel and make sure you hit that bell notification to get the very latest.